First of all, I'm doing 2 marathons in 2 days. Again for Clatterbridge Cancer Charity. For a few reasons, to be honest. Obviously, Clatterbridge Cancer Charity is huge in the local area, and I always want to give back to the local area in any way I can. And the previous marathon I'd done was for them as well, so it's something I enjoy doing. And obviously, it's going to an amazing charity where it's helping people and families that need it in sometimes the worst conditions of life, really, because it's really difficult for all involved. And the other reason was, unfortunately, my dad was diagnosed with terminal cancer probably about a year ago, coming up to a year ago. I think it was the 4th of May, or just before the 4th of May last year. He was diagnosed with terminal cancer, so he's been having treatment for the past year. He's stuck up in Newcastle, to be honest, but that's made it slightly more difficult with him going through treatments up there. But he's been through all his chemo. He's done really well with it. The last few weeks has been quite difficult, with things taking over a little bit again and things like that. But it sort of gave me the idea that I wanted to do something and focus on something. And obviously a difficult time for my dad and his close family members. And it's helped me sort of focus my energy on something rather than sort of being down in the dumps and trying to be negative about everything.
Can't imagine it's been an easy time for you whatsoever, with you being down here, your dad being up in Newcastle. I think your brother lives over in Ireland, I'm right in saying. So dotted all over the country, or the British Isles and
Yeah,
Ireland.
lots of travelling involved for both my brother and me. It's even harder for him. It's about 3.5, 4 hours for me, which seems like a long way, but when it's needed to be done, it's something that can be done there and back in a day, which I've done quite a few times. So it has been a really difficult time, but what it does do, it brings family back together, and it's really sort of made you realise what's important, to be honest, and the important priorities everyone's got. And there's so many people going through it out there, and I think during this process it's been amazing for people to come to me and say, I'm going through something similar, or Clatterbridge has helped my family, and things like that. So that's where it does inspire you to sort of give a little bit back, and you're doing something for a good purpose.
So it takes you 3.5 to 4 hours to drive up to Newcastle. Are you able to run 26.2 miles in a quicker time than that?
No, don't put any pressure on me, Matt. I'm not even trying to. No, definitely not. I'm not putting any pressure on that. But yeah, no time for me. It'll be about survival. That's what it'll be.
Why two in 2 days?
Um, I think because I've done the one in 2022, which was the day itself was amazing. London Marathon, the atmosphere is unbelievable. It's just the idea of everyone's in a really good mood. The people not involved in it, it's just a fantastic feeling. Um, and I loved it, but I didn't think I'd do it again until my fiance, she put me forward, or put me in for the raffle without me knowing. So I think on the slide she's trying to kill me off, to be honest. And it came pulled out, so she sat me down. I thought there was something really wrong. She said, I've got something to tell you. You're going to be doing the marathon again. I was like, fucking hell. All right. So it's given me, and I understand, because it has given me something to focus on. So it's been really positive. But then I thought it's hard to get sponsorship, and I understand people are struggling, and people are constantly looking for the next charity and the next thing. And there's so many really good causes out there, and it's like someone else speaking, you think, oh my god, that's amazing, I want to help them, and I want to help them, and people financially just can't do it. So I wanted to do something a little bit different, with sort of a tougher challenge for myself, and push myself a little bit. And I just thought, why not just give it a go? 2 and 2, it sounds good, until the MND fella absolutely ruined it with 7 and 7, which I would never ever do. But it's an amazing charity he's done it for, and what an inspiring person he's been. So even seeing him do 7 and 7 has been huge for me to realise you can do it. So that's why I'm doing 2 and 2, just because it was something slightly different.
So you're doing one on the Wirral on
Yeah.
Saturday, which is your own kind of made-up route, and we'll talk about that route in a moment. And then obviously you're doing the London Marathon at the day after. How do you possibly train for 2 in 2 days? Because marathon training is very much about peaking for when the day comes, isn't it? And actually not really stretching yourself to do the full 26.2 marathons, 26.2 miles in training. Yet you're going to have to peak twice in 2 days with very, very tired legs. And I know that your knees were the reason you retired from playing football.
Knees and hips, Matt, knees and hips. However, I think what I've tried to do is try to double up the training so the day after I've done a longer run, I've done another long run to try and double it up, just so my body's aware that it's going to be quite hard conditions, because if it gets used to lying down the following day, it's going to want to do that. So I feel the training's gone well, but I don't know how I'm going to be at. I know I'm going to have tons of painkillers. I know that's what's going to be packed in my bag. But other than that, I don't know. I might get up in the morning and feel okay, or I might get up in the morning and be crippled and have to walk a lot of it. So I just don't know, and I can't plan for that reaction because it'll just be how it is. So I'll just do everything right after the race. I'll be made to stretch, I'm sure. I'll try and get an ice bath as soon as I can, little things like that, and then it'll just be a case of eating the right foods to recover and then go down there. But obviously, I'm going to have 1 or 2 beers after the first marathon just to calm myself down.